law is unfortunately, especially in India, a humongous boys' club. So when you think of top lawyers, most of the names that will come to your mind will be men. I can't
Really?
wait for the day, the Supreme Court allows us to wear pink so we can all be women in pink and still be strong. If we are relentless at home, we can be relentless in our careers also. We can be relentless in our success also. So, the fact that, I started this and nobody used to talk about orphans, and suddenly, big magazines are talking about it. It feels like, you're living a dream, you're manifesting a dream that you've been trying to do for 5 years. The whole idea behind this, when it began, was to raise awareness about these kids. Keep thinking that they're talking about COVID orphans, but they're not talking about the other 3 crore orphans in the country.
Yes.
The only thing that can happen that will, create a paradigm shift is a large scale state intervention, because individuals, fosters, adoptions, NGOs, nothing can take care of numbers this big.
That's a tough one.
Yeah, when you drive
Everybody
down the
wants
road,
their
you
own
see
blood.
so many, all these IVF clinics,
Oh
and you
my
don't
God,
see.
you hit it out there.
But if you give enough thought and enough, time, not enough time, actually, enough thought, then for one child or one animal, you may be able to change their world. So
That
remember
really
that.
is. So thank you, Paulumi, for your time today. It's so nice to see you. I was just
Thank you so much for having me here.
so Paulumi, how has your journey been? I mean, I will not go the. You have spoken about it. We know you have been now taking a leap in your journey, but I want to start from the beginning. A lawyer, always wanted to be a lawyer, or happened to be a lawyer?
Happened to be a lawyer. In fact, I did my undergrad in economics and mathematics.
Wow.
So yeah, just happens chance that I became a lawyer. Just the I was there was a relative who was fighting a case, and I went to meet a lawyer with them, and I just found it so interesting that every day they have something new on their job.
Wow.
So it just seemed like something that I would like to do. Every day you get a chance to learn something new. It's like a perpetual education.
Yes.
It's for every case, and it's also like a little bit of a test of your own mind every time. How much you can, how far you can go, what loopholes can you find, how can you prepare, the possibly the best foot forward for your client.
Yes.
So
Being a lawyer and being a woman lawyer, I mean, how did that journey go, as you thought?
it is challenging every day, because law is unfortunately, especially in India, a humongous boys club.
Okay.
I mean, 4 judges have come to the Supreme Court and everybody's going gung-ho about it. But that's still 4 out of 34. It's just sad. So, it is. And we don't, when you think of top lawyers, most of the names that will come to your mind will be men. And it's
Actually, yes.
unfortunate, while in other fields, even in politics, even in the army, women have
Yes.
started, being more included. And that's because I think, there's a traditional thing that people say that lawyers are not supposed to be women because it's just too taxing to be a woman and be a lawyer, because you can't have a family life, or you're supposed to, you can't, it takes too much focus on your career to make it. And I find this whole narrative very negative and very,
Very
very
stereotype.
heartbreaking. Yeah, very heartbreaking, very stereotype. And that's a huge challenge. So, often in the beginning when I used to go to court, there'd be people be like, oh, ये तो नन्ही सी लड़की आ गई है,
Oh,
which,
really? So
yeah,
ये
which would,
comments भी सुनने पड़ते हैं.
especially in the lower courts. And you know even the judges, I mean, I shouldn't say that, but there are some judges who, they can't keep their entire the background of society that they've come from very far away from when they are dealing with women. I mean, they're trying. I can see that they're trying,
Yes.
but sometimes it's a little. I think it's just hard for them to fathom that women can be as cutting edge as men.
आपके लिए क्या वर्क किया कि आपको ये जर्नी इट टुक यू समवेयर एट लीस्ट यू आर वर्किंग विद सुप्रीम कोर्ट सो I wouldn't say that your journey, it was a successful journey. आपके लिए क्या work किया?
Uh, I think the most important thing was to have a thick skin, because that's I mean, hard work, perseverance, but pretty much everyone who's even remotely or even mildly successful does that. Even some people who are not successful are very hardworking. I mean, it's just, but it is more importantly to have a thick skin, especially as a girl, because the initial days you met with a lot of skepticism, with a lot
Yes.
of belief, because when you're young, they're like, oh, ye to shaadi karke chhod degi, that she'll get involved in her family, so don't take her too seriously.
You won't be taken to big assignments क्योंकि आप
In the beginning, yes. Once I've been married now for 5 years. Now people have figured out that I think, yeah, my career is also important to me, as important to me as my husband's career is to him. So,
yes.
so that is, but yeah, so especially for women lawyers, this is, you have to have a thick skin. You just, you need to, and also it's a sad thing, but it's true. You just need to deliver far more than your male counterparts to be taken equally seriously.
Yeah.
You just
So
need to
there
be
is
delivering
more to
more.
prove for a woman than a man.
Yeah, and I think that's true in all fields.
Yes.
I'm sure it's true for you also. I mean, when you're
Oh,
doing
yes,
this.
as a journalist, but we used to meet lawyers and always feel like I never saw this part of it. We used to meet more male lawyers. So you're right. I never had interaction with a female lawyer in most of the cases we covered.
Yeah, so that's unfortunate, but I hope that changes. I hope.
And yeah, this is so ironical. I don't know if you take this as a wit. Did you have a sense of humor developing fighting as a thick skin? Because they say women are the most argumentative घर पे, औरतों से कोई जीत नहीं सकता, तो कोर्ट में कैसे जीत सकता है?
हाँ, वही ना, I know. I used to be like, when you can't fight your wife, why are you wondering that you can fight me?
So I think after a time they realize.
Yeah, and it's just, every negative they spin they put on women being argumentative or
Yes.
relentless. I think that's very good for us as women everywhere. If we are relentless at home, we can be relentless in our careers also. We can be relentless in our success also. So, bring on, call us relentless. I don't mind.
Yes. Now I want to know this journey to Forbes under 30. Ever thought ऐसे कोई dream था कि मुझे अपना नाम इतना popular चाहिए? A Lucknow girl, the headlines I was reading was a Lucknow girl made it to Forbes 30. It's like, you've just achieved something globally. How did this come to you?
It was a shock. No, I never thought that, there was like, when I started doing law, there was always like, and I think that's an idealism with which pretty much everybody has, is ki, we'll fight a few good cases, we'll try and change the system for a little better. And orphans was something I was very, very, very passionate about for a very long time, personally also. So yeah, but I never thought this would happen, and it was quite a shock. In fact, the Forbes email also went to my spam. So I didn't even know
What
I
did you
was on the
say?
list.
I want this
for,
again.
yeah, for a little while. Randomly, I just checked my spam and I was like, it just didn't seem real when I found it, because it was in spam and I didn't expect it to be there.
I'm glad you did not trash it thinking it was a joke.
Yeah. And then, I forwarded it to my husband. He's like, Acha, main check karta hu. I'll just check. And then I emailed the person who emailed me and I was like, hi, I mean, is this for real kind of thing? And she's like, yeah. We've been trying to contact you. And I was like, oh, I'm
How was the
sorry.
reaction around you, Paulamy? At work, in your house, how did people receive this? Because you might, I don't know how you looked at it, but for everybody else, it did come across as an inspiration there.
Thank you. But yeah, at work, so it was more about, there was like a joke going around ki अब इतनी लड़ाका है तो ये तो होएगा ही types. But yeah, I think they were all very proud of me and they were very supportive. And at home, everybody was, I think, in disbelief a little bit, because nobody was really expecting this. And then my dad was, the reality check. He's like, अभी बहुत सारी चीजें करनी है. So don't let this be the last thing that don't think that you've arrived yet. There's a lot more you have to achieve.
What really helps these kind of identification, recognition? How does it bring?
More than just the recognition for me, which of course, I mean, it's humongously motivating, because obviously, any recognition makes you feel good, and it's quite the cherry on top of the sundae. But more than anything else, the fact that I started this and nobody used to talk about orphans, and suddenly big magazines are talking about it. It feels like, you're living a dream, you're manifesting a dream that you've been trying to do for 5 years. And it's a little surreal, but it's also really, really amazing. And it's something that I feel that, it's helping not only, I mean, it helps me, obviously, I mean, in every way, to be honest, but it also helps the cause that I'm trying to do. The whole idea behind this, when it began, was to raise awareness about these kids.
Yes.
And I think these awards have raised more awareness than I could, alone do it, which is ironical also, but also very, very fruitful. So, it's been quite a surreal experience going through. The last year has been quite a surreal experience. At the beginning of this year, when COVID was happening, and
Yes.
suddenly there was this conversation about COVID orphans, and I used to keep thinking that they're talking about COVID orphans, but they're not talking about the other 3 crore orphans in the country.
Yes.
Just doing schemes for COVID orphans. It's as simple as, raising a pen and just extending those schemes for every orphan child. When you're so concerned, but there are orphans out of COVID also. And I would feel very, very bad about it.
You had mentioned in your interviews also that at a very young age you used to go to orphanage. You have been once with your parents, but when you took it as a cause, did it happen by chance, or was it a very conscious approach? Like you said, law happened to you, but did
Yeah.
working on this also happen to you? Because as a lawyer, it is not possible to find time for this. As we know, one profession doesn't allow you,
Yeah.
actually doesn't allow you to do justice to any
That's true.
cause you
That's
take.
true. It's part chance, part conscious, in the sense that the whole thing was triggered because I used to go to orphanages, and it was triggered by this, friend of mine who asked me for a very simple thing, that she wanted to go to college. And I was trying to figure out, because my parents are in the government. So like every government child, I was like, acha, koi scheme or scholarship hogi, we'll try and get her there. But there was nothing. And that shocked me. And then I was feeling really bad about it, and I wasn't being able to figure out what to do. And then that's when I took a conscious decision: something needs to be done, and somebody needs to do it.
Okay.
You can't just feel bad about it and just do nothing about it. Especially, and I used to feel particularly guilty because I was like, I'm training in law, and this is a legal issue. So
Yes.
I shouldn't just feel bad about it, go home and just lament about it and be like, system kharab hai, dunya kharab hai, chodo, nothing can be done about this country, or nothing can be done about the system. So it was that was a very conscious decision. And at that time, obviously, it was full of jingoism and idealism ki haan sab ho jayega, I'll change the whole thing,
Yes.
which obviously came with a lot of reality checks later. But it was a conscious decision to do something about something that I felt bad about. And I think that decision pretty much changed my life.
How much I mean, it might look for people easy now that you are there, recognize your work is being talked about, but I'm sure it was not that easy. I mean, every day would have gone like not happening. So
It was
how was that 5 years, 6 years you're talking about? Was
honestly for orphans about less than 10% of the policy change that I would like to see. And it's very difficult. I mean, there are so many, bizarre things that you hear. I mean, I'll give you one small example. I went to the senior officer and I was like, sir, orphans are not included in the right to education.
Yes.
And it's a very simple thing. It's a notification. Every state is empowered to include whichever children they think have special, special consideration. So I was like, please just include orphans. And the logic he gives me is, no, I won't do it, because then more poor mothers will abandon their children. I was so shocked at the callousness of this statement. If nobody wants to abandon their child, A, B, if somebody is being forced to do it, that means they are also not getting those facilities. And C, you cannot deprive other orphan children simply because you think that some minuscule numbers may increase. For that, a majority of child is being deprived of education of life. Then another officer I met, sometime back, told me, "Arey, it's in their destiny, and destiny is written. And some people have suffering written, so we can't do much about it." And that also really hurt me. Isn't our whole philosophy as a socialist democratic republic to bring up those who have been hurt, who are unfortunately ignored by the system, or oppressed by society? So there is so much callousness that you face.
And great
And I'm not saying,
insensitive behavior, I think. They're very
yeah, and I'm not saying
insensitive.
that's the norm. That is not the norm. There is a lot of empathy also. But then there are lots of things with empathy. There's weakness, there's lack of
Yes.
desire, lack of will, or just, simply, like you said, life takes over for people. If I go and I'm remind them and they do it, sometimes they just simply forget to do it.
True.
Sometimes they're just so busy. So, a lot of things take over. Sometimes even life takes over. So for many reasons, it's very, very difficult to get people doing things for children, especially which is not a vote bank in this democracy.
Yes.
So
True. That is also true. Yeah.
yeah, so that is unfortunately, so it's been a very long and arduous.
But was there a point you felt like I can't do this? My profession is there and people are not excited. Was there a give up point for you at any point?
I think there are many give ups points. Many times I used to be like, there's no point, especially after I wrote my book and I went in, I went to a lot of people and I gave
For
them the facts.
publishing it?
Huh. No, it was publishing. It wasn't so difficult as much as it was the giving of facts. It was the, trying to tell people, because the whole idea was that the book would make people aware and they would themselves, I wouldn't have to file a PIL,
True.
sort of themselves. So that 2.5 years between when I wrote the book and I filed the PIL were really, really difficult. And even filing the PIL came out of a very moment of like major despair for me, that nothing's happening. And I would go to orphanages and I would meet these children, and every time I would feel like giving up, I would be like, how selfish am I that I want to give up because simply because people are not listening, but these kids have nothing. Once I went to an orphanage and I asked them, I'm coming on Diwali and what would you like, and they asked me for warm socks. And it was really heartbreaking in that moment, because you ask a child, what do you want in the entire world? And they ask you for warm socks. It really, some things like that were a huge reality check.
Who was a great support during this time, Paulomi? Your family, your friends, your colleagues, your own self failures that led you like, I want to give it another chance? What really worked?
I think I've been very blessed to, in the sense that I've come from a very supportive environment from everybody, from my family, my husband, who's a big, you can't give up, you have to keep fighting, you have to keep fighting kind of human being, and friends, everybody. I mean, I think it's just a very nice environment that I come from, and it's a humongous blessing, I would say. I mean, I realized as a child, I used to think this was the norm. Now I realize that it is not the norm. It is a huge blessing that I should be grateful for every day of my life.
What do you think can be permanently done to help the people get more sensitized?
The last UNICEF study shows India has 2.96 crore orphan
Yes.
children, 29.6 million, which is more than the population of most countries, including Sri Lanka. So the only thing that can happen that will create a paradigm shift is a large scale state intervention, because individuals, fosters, adoptions, NGOs, nothing can take care of numbers this big.
Okay.
You're talking about something as big as some of the smallest states in the country. So when you're talking about something as big, something bigger than the population of Delhi,
Yes.
so nothing can genuinely take care of these children unless there's a humongous state which includes and budget enhancement, policies in which orphans are given education, whether it is vocational training or whether it is higher education. They have a choice.
Yes.
So that they can at least be reintegrated into society. And once a policy is in place, it'll be sort of a ripple effect, because a lot of these orphans are also abandoned children.
Okay.
There's a large number of abandoned or lost or whatever kind of children in India. And once they are rehabilitated in society and they work, at least in my experience, I've seen orphans who get rehabilitated in society also have a tendency of giving back a lot more to their own cause, and then than people who, because they've experienced that. Like for example, the right to education or the Sarv Shiksha Abhiyan has already started showing some impact.
Okay.
And it isn't that old.
Yes.
And how even we worked so hard and we've now eliminated polio in our country.
Yes.
It's not that it is not effective, and sometimes 10 years may seem like a very long term when you're talking about it, or 15 years, but actually they pass in a jiffy. And as far as policy implementation, it's only 3 governments, it's only 3 elections.
Yes.
And when you think about it, it's
Yes.
not that long. But the first step is that there has to be thought and consideration behind the policy.
Yes.
Because right now we're really lacking. We don't even have a legislation for orphan children. orphans are clubbed in a legislation called the Juvenile Justice Act, which is for children with conflict with law, right? So, what you call child criminals.
Yes.
But when you combine the two, the focus goes more on the rehabilitation of child criminals, on why child crime is happening or how to reduce it, rather than, these children who are being neglected. And this is a British legacy that we've been continuing and has not been changed.
Until it is extreme criminal background or record with them, you're not given that due.
Yeah, so they have to, it has to be a different act for orphan children because their needs are different.
Yes.
Their way of rehabilitation, their needs of education, because a lot of children who go to juvenile justice home cannot be sent to schools because they have security reasons or they may run away and go back into crime. But orphans are not that. You have to give them a chance to study. And when you club the two and you club rules, it becomes very difficult. Our country doesn't have an official survey of orphans. So all our numbers are from UNICEF or from NGO studies. So we don't have an official survey. So if we don't have an official survey, and that's also one of the demands we've put forth, that there should be an official survey. So we do not even know the cause of these numbers.
That's a tough one.
Yeah, when you drive
everybody
down
wants their own
you
blood.
see so many, all these IVF clinics.
Oh my God, you hit it out there.
Yeah,
and you seeing the amount of business IVF is doing now.
Yeah, and it's so sad because adoption is so culturally acceptable to us. After all, Lord Krishna was also adopted, wasn't he?
That's a strong thing to say.
Yeah, I mean, his father left him and the king of Gokul raised him. He was an adopted child.
True. That's such a strong thing to say. I think that's a good message to give, to believe in your own mythology.
It is part of our culture and it's a good thing. And yet people, they have this whole, and whether a child is born from your stomach or from your heart, how does it matter?
I think this sensitization will be really heart touching. It's such a nice thought. How do you summarize your journey if somebody asks you?
So UP is, again, because of lack of education and everything that we've been talking about, UP is still, it's like being in a patriarchal profession from a patriarchal place.
Yes.
It's quite a double whammy. So it is, an incredibly, I look at this as when I meet other people, I look at this as like a burden of an example that I have to do this because I have to tell others that you can also do this. You can't just, it's not the only, you don't have to worry. It's not impossible. It's a little harder, but honestly, it's not much harder. I believe that everybody, needs to struggles. Some people just have a little lesser struggle than others.
Yes.
But I don't believe anybody who has even mildly succeeded has not struggled. People say that, oh, if I do this, my parents will get hurt or this one will get hurt. And I keep telling people that, just don't worry about their hurt now. Think of their joy when they finally see you succeed.
So the long-term benefit is more.
Yeah, just think of their joy. And if somebody is not happy in your success, then maybe they don't need to be part of your life. That is a toxic relationship, the very definition of one.
Any weird or fun or hilarious comment you have come across while doing your profession or you doing your reaching out or helping children that made you be like?
Yeah. So the funniest thing, once I was arguing about something and somebody was like, "Aapke andar to Durga Mata baith gayi hai aaj." I was like, "Nahi, हमारे अंदर दुर्गा माता रोज बैठती हैं."
Are people scared of you because you're a lawyer or you have taken up a cause so strongly?
I hope so. Honestly, I hope so. At least people who, who are underestimating women or underestimating me, at least I hope they get scared of me and then they think, they look at their wife or they look at their daughter and be like, oh, maybe she can be like this too. So maybe I should treat her better.
What is that one moment that gave you a self-satisfaction or pride? What was that moment your mother said?
I think the most was the first email I got from this child who was an orphan in Rajasthan. And he said, ma'am, because of your PIL, I got a job.
Wow.
It was, I think, right after the Supreme Court had issued notice. And I was, it made everything worth it. And I was like, this is exactly why I'm doing this, not for me to get emails, but for every child to have the confidence that, yes, I can dream.
And last thing, if I want you to leave us with is about what is the next vision? You told us what you largely want to take it to, but next step kya hai? Is there something that is there and we're going to hear from you soon? You have reached out somewhere or you're approaching or being approached? globally?
there's a lot of things in the works, but the thing that I'm hoping that we get to do soon is we make sure that right to education in every state is given
Okay.
to orphans. So every child in this country, at least, there's actually no child left behind, because
Wow.
technically right now there are 3 crore children left behind.
So you're saying
So
eradicate polio to kiya hai, eradicate.
yeah, eradicate at least, at least we get them a basic amount of education.
That is such a strong sankalp, you can say,
Huh.
that you have taken. But you know what reminds me talking to you? We always say men in black, but I've seen a lawyer, a woman wearing black. So it's like a woman in black has set an example. You've
I can't
really,
wait for the day, the Supreme Court allows us to wear pink so we can all be women in pink and still be strong.
this is so cool. Can you really, you have this vision on
Yeah,
the
it is like a dream of mine that, because I hate these boxing that they do, like when, that, oh, if you're working for orphans, you can't, be well dressed, or, if you
Okay.
are good at mathematics, you can't be good at art. Why are you boxing us? And so, women in business suits are the women who are powerful. I want to be a woman in a, pink ballerina dress and be powerful.
I wish this comes true and we can have all the lawyers in a country wearing whatever color they want and like
Exactly.
flaunt the best of it. So nice talking to you, Pallami, but I would like you to leave us with one message. We generally take messages and people singing us a song or leaving a nice mantra they believe in life. Which one do you want to? You have some motto, some shloka?
Yeah, so there's one thing I like, I keep saying very often is that, I keep telling people you may not be able to change the world, but if you give enough thought and enough, time, not enough time, actually enough thought, then for one child or one animal, you may be able to change their world. So
That
remember
really
that.